Hi, I'm Tony Nichols, and welcome to Chamber Chat. Hi, and welcome to Chamber Chat, a program put together by the Salisbury Area Chamber of Commerce to keep you informed on what's going on in your community and in your neighborhoods. Joining us now on this edition of Chamber Chat is Pete Bozick, Executive Vice President with GMB Engineering. Welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, Tony.
It's been a while. It's been a while since we've had people that build stuff.
Okay.
On the well, that's when you think of architects and engineers. I mean, you guys build bridges and buildings, but
that's part of it.
But I understand there's a little more to it than that. Why don't you give us a 50,000 foot view of what more means?
What more means? Well, in our world, in our company, we are architects and structural engineers, but we're also civil engineers. And under the civil engineering category, we are water wastewater engineers, we are stormwater engineers, we are municipal engineers, and we do work development engineers. So we have a wide variety of land or horizontal projects, and then we also have buildings and building projects. So
well, specifically, you know, what I want to get into is really how you impact the day-to-day lives of people that really don't know you're having an impact on their day-to-day lives, as well as the community at large. And one in particular, one area in particular is historic preservation. So how would architects and engineers, civil engineering folks get involved in historic preservation that normally you would just think people go in and restructure something to put a new facade on and be done with it? But there's a little more to it than that.
It's a specialty that our firm developed over the years with an architect named Jack Graham, and it's carried with us until the present day. And an example project that we're working on now is the Wicomico County Courthouse and the Clock Tower. And it was early January last year when the county came to us and signed us up, and our architects and our structural engineers looked at renovating that clock tower structure. And it's almost 140 years old.
Wasn't it struck by lightning?
Well, that's interesting. It was struck by lightning. So in the spring of last year, we did our evaluation to look at the conditions to come up with a game plan of how it would need to be restored and renovated. And sometime, I guess in the summertime, it got struck by lightning, and the structure was threatened. It might fall down. It might fall down. So it became almost an emergency project at that point. An interesting tidbit was that we also, in our efforts, we used drone technology, and that was a good case where we could use drone technology. So we put a drone in the air where we could physically, on the exterior, get some close-up photographs of the structural condition. It was one of the first times we used that technology, and it was a very good learning experience because we didn't tell anybody when we put the drone in the air. And before we knew it, we were getting phone calls from the Salisbury police and the county police and the courthouse, like, what's going on? Is there a security issue? And we got called to task on that, but things worked out all right. And in the fall, we got the project bid, and they selected a contractor, and it's under construction now.
Very good. So we look forward to it being able to produce 1.21 gigawatts of electricity.
There you go. Okay. I got you.
I had to get that in.
Okay.
When I was reading the story, I think everyone that read the story had the same had the same thought. But I just have the bully pulpit that I can say it and get it out to the masses. Downtown revitalization. Anyone that's been anywhere in Salisbury know that there's a lot of stuff going on downtown. You know, there's a lot of people involved in this effort. You know, and to start listing people you would certainly leave someone out, but certainly Mayor Jake Day is heading that charge for sure. But how, in a downtown revitalization project as large as the scope is, how would architects or engineers impact that?
Okay. Well, we've been involved in a number of committees and study groups that look at various aspects. You know, there's traffic, there's downtown street improvements, the streetscape, and in one case there's the Riverwalk area, the waterfront area. The Riverwalk that's there now, the sheet piling and the walkways had been there since the 70s. It was deteriorating, and it's been on the city's radar for a number of years. And on and off, we've looked at it and studied it, and over time they secured some money from the state to help make those improvements. And so one of our projects was the Riverwalk and renovation of the Riverwalk from the hotel almost all the way to the Mill Street Bridge. And we did an assessment of all the sheet piling, and a number of it was weakened and damaged, and the sheet piling in a number of places needed to be replaced. And there's also drainage issues. Sure. So the storm drain pipes that drain the East Main Street, Baptist Street area,
I've been a part of that.
I've been a part of that.
Oh, yeah.
So we made improvements to the pipes as they come through the sheet piling into the river. We were able to renovate those connections and try to maximize the use of backflow prevention valves to try to minimize the amount when the tide comes up of the water backing up and into the street. So one part of the project was making those improvements to the pipe. The other part was replacing sheet piling. And an interesting part with the structural design of this sheet piling to support it, they used screw anchors rather than timber piles or concrete piles as dead men to hold and support the sheeting. And so we actually had to screw support structures, so support piping, that actually went under some buildings and private property. So there was a lot of it was a lot of care taken to make sure it was done right.
Well, along the same lines, you guys, architects and engineers even get involved in emergent situations. When the Mill Street Bridge fiasco happened, I understand.
Right.
You
we're
guys
on the downtown plaza, so we're not too far.
That's right.
And we get a call that a crane fell over. It was working on Riverview Commons, where the building that was renovated, the old Feldman building, crane fell over, hit the railing on the bridge. The railing on the bridge bent, collapsed. It hit the back of a car, Mercedes. It broke the back windshield. The concrete deck on the bridge got damaged. The city called us. We sent out a structural engineer. His name was Roland Holland. Went down there. He looked over the situation to see if it was stable, see if it was structurally sound, and make a report to the city. So that they could take some action. Ultimately, they were able to repair the concrete and did not have to shut down the bridge. That's
more example of how you wouldn't think architects and engineers are getting involved in everyday life. And something close, near and dear to me, because I live close to there, is we had a water situation here not long ago. And I understand you guys were involved in that as well.
Right. Yep. It was TCE contamination of the drinking water wells. People are individual wells. TCE is a degreasing chemical and a dry cleaning fluid. It's the two major uses of that chemical. It was infiltrating the wells. Dangerous situation. The state of Maryland and EPA became involved and declared it a Superfund site. When you declare something a Superfund site, they take a year to investigate, and the EPA sets a budget of $1 million. So while that was undertaken, and part of the purpose of that was to find the source of that contamination. If you can find the source, you could try to find a party who was liable, and then you can seek money from the person who's liable.
Sure.
While that was going on, we knew something was going to need to be done, and it was either individually address every house with their own treatment system, or come up with a community system. The county approached us, and we did some preliminary feasibility planning, leaning towards the idea that their best approach was a community system, and their best approach was to either get water from the city of Salisbury or the city of Fruitland. The alternative would have been for the county to get into water treatment business, where they would drill their own well and storage tank and treatment. And through that, and we worked with Fruitland and we worked with Salisbury And we knew the process where you could go to the state and seek grant funds. And we worked with the county, and we applied for some grant funds. And we made a combination of the city of Fruitland's efforts to build a water tank and the county's need to solve this problem, put the two projects together, and the state was receptive, and they agreed to put in some funding. We also then brought to the county's attention the ability to go to USDA and rural development and bring federal funds. And USDA took an interest in a project, and they provided funds. So ultimately, between the state and the federal government, they gave $6 million in grant towards an $8 million project. So we got 75% of the project covered by grant dollars, and it really brought the local share down. These types of projects are very expensive. The capital infrastructure is very expensive. It's always daunting to the homeowners to try to take on that debt, that mortgage, so to speak. The other part of these projects is they're built to last 50, 60, 80 years. So they're going to be here a long time. So that's part of the reason. So when you build it, you try to build it one time and hope it's going to last for a long time.
That's right.
So where we are right now is we basically finished construction of the community water system, and we're connecting houses. There was about 270 houses that needed to be connection, and we're down to about the last 5 houses.
Oh wow, that's fantastic.
So we're probably 6 or 8 months later than we'd like to be. It's been slow connecting the houses, but we're right there now.
Very cool. Well, Pete, we're running out of time. I think we
Okay.
could sit here for an hour and have these conversations. But I appreciate you coming in and talking to us on Chamber Chat about how you guys, architects and engineers in general, not only build cool stuff, but impact day-to-day life.
Well, thank you. My pleasure for being here.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
We'd like to give you this opportunity now to take a look at the upcoming events with the Salisbury Area Chamber of Commerce. All right, welcome back to Chamber Chat right here on PAC 14. Joining us now is a friend of the show, been on the show a couple of times, Zach Evans, chairman of the Wacomico County Fair.
Yes, sir. Good to be back. It
Welcome
doesn't
back.
feel like 3 years, does
No, it does not feel like 3 years, but it is. It'll be 5 years before you know it, and then 10 years before you know it, and you'll have gray hair and kids, and wow.
As long as you're still sitting here, I can commit to that.
I just went a long ways.
Yeah,
didn't I?
you did. You did. Crystal ball over there.
That's right. So everyone, I remember growing up, we would go to the fair. And as a kid, all I remembered about the fair was the rides. But the fair is more than just rides. Give us your view or your interpretation of what a fair is.
Yeah. So I say it all the time, and hopefully I'm not beating it to death. But to me, the fair it just captures that sense of community that we have here on the Lower Eastern Shore. Mm-hmm. So the rides are a great part, and they're one of my favorites too. But I get really excited to showcase and highlight the local businesses and to highlight sort of the abilities and arts and crafts and specialties of our citizens and our residents here in Wacomico County. Mm-hmm. The livestock showing is great, but all the stuff that folks enter indoors competitively, the photography, the arts and crafts, the vegetables, the quilting, the hobbies, that stuff's really exciting too. So,
when and where?
We're going to be at Winter Place Park this year. It'll be August 18th, 19th, and 20th. That's a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Mm-hmm. So pretty much the same footprint as previous years?
Actually, we're really excited for this year. We're going to be occupying the same footprint as we did last year, but we're also going to be extending into the rest of Winter Place Park.
Okay.
So if anybody in the community is familiar with Pork in the Park, some of those other events that are hosted over there, we're going to be taking over that side of the park as well, close to the pond with all the ball fields.
Cool. So we'll have to find a different venue as it continues to grow. But for now, we'll just take the entire Winter Place Park
we're going to
area.
take the whole thing over. And I'll tell you what, Wacomico County has been awesome to work with. As we've expanded, they've given us the opportunity to utilize that venue and really maximize its potential.
Well, I know over the years, the last couple of years, you've struggled with wanting to make sure you give credit to your partners that,
Yes, sir.
that partner with the show and with the fair. So what are some of the partnerships that are continuing to make the fair successful?
Yeah, well, of course, first and foremost, we wouldn't be able to do it without access to resources, and that means funding. So I got to thank our sponsors. This year, our presenting sponsors are going to be Purdue Farms and Toyota, and our best in show sponsor is McIntyre Electric. They're helping us out with a lot of logistical stuff. And then we've got Burke Equipment, iHeartMedia, and Wacomico County Recreation Parks and Tourism has really stepped up huge. And then our community partnerships, you know, as the event grows and becomes more successful, we continue to bring more people under the fold. So in addition to the Chamber of Commerce, we're working very closely with University of Maryland Extension, the Wacomico County Council and the Executive's Office, the City of Salisbury, and again, the county themselves and Parks and Rec and then their staff have been awesome.
Right. So I know you gave me a little glimpse at your idea of what the fair is, but the purpose of the fair, why is it important?
Yeah, I think it's a time, you know, it's the end of summer, everybody's getting geared up, getting ready to go back to school, and it's one of those last opportunities you have to sort of step back and appreciate what it is that we all enjoy about the lifestyle and the culture here on Delmarva, and specifically the Lower Eastern Shore. So this year is pretty special because it also is going to capture the 150th celebration of Wacomico County. And I couldn't think of a better venue or a better event than the Wacomico County Fair. We're firing on all cylinders as it goes, and then we get to celebrate that milestone as well. So I think with the celebration of the 150, you're going to see some new events. We're going to have a parade of towns. We're going to have a heritage festival and a heritage tent. And to me, I think maybe that captures the spirit of the fair the most. Is just celebrating the history and celebrating the people that make up that history.
You told me what some of your, you know, we both like the rides, though I can't ride them anymore because I'm old and I get dizzy and sick. But what are some of the most popular attractions that people just keep talking about? Are you going to have this? Are you going to have that? What are some of those most popular attractions?
Yeah, so from last year, our most popular attractions, the livestock is a huge hit with everybody because if you didn't grow up on a farm or you don't have that exposure every day, it's really neat to experience the animals, but also to see how hard those young people work with those animals day in and day out to prepare for showtime. Right. So the livestock barn is always a huge hit. Last year, we were really surprised by the support for the mounted shooting competition that we had. So we're bringing them back this year. The fireworks, because of the venue, the proximity, the location that we shoot the fireworks off, it's one of the best fireworks shows I've ever been to, and it's a full 30-minute show. So we're going to definitely be doing that again this year. And we'll have all those same local food vendors and same arts and crafts vendors, in addition to a lot of exciting, really new stuff that we're bringing in.
So let's talk about the new stuff. So you can't throw that out there and we not talk about it and dig in a little bit.
Yeah, I baited you a little bit there.
Did.
So,
yeah, you did.
Some of the new stuff we've got the Maryland High School Rodeo coming in, who I'm really excited to see on Friday night and Saturday morning. They put on essentially a full-scale rodeo. They're going to be doing it there in the sand ring, close to where our livestock barn and our equestrian shows are going to be. The equestrian shows that I just slipped in there, that's new this year. We're going to have a full 3-day horse show going on. Wow. I'm really excited about the parade. I think that's cool. I think it screams county fair, especially with this 150 celebration that we have going on. So we're calling it the Parade of Towns. There will be 12 delegations throughout Wacomico County that are represented there. And thanks to Wacomico County and the county executive, Bob Culver, we're also bringing in a nationally recognized country music performer. I had the opportunity to see him 2 weeks ago when I was in Nashville in a tiny bar there with about 45 people, and he went on for probably 35 minutes about the fair and his ties to Ocean City and Berlin.
Oh, really?
He was born in Wilmington. He grew up in Worcester County. His name's Jimmy Charles, so we're really excited, and we appreciate the county bringing him in for us this year as well.
Nice. So what can the community do to support?
Check us out on Facebook and on Instagram, and be sure to go to our website because we're going to be putting out calls for volunteers and just for participation as we get closer to the fair. Without the support of the community, this event wouldn't happen. It's a free event, it's free parking, and we really try to make it family oriented. So in addition to attending, I encourage folks to reach out to us and see how you can participate. Just send me a message on Facebook. It comes personally to my inbox. or my email is zevans@mafc.com. You can always send me any inquiries or any questions that you have directly, and I'm happy to help you.
Okay, other information as it relates to is there a Wicomico County Fair Facebook page or website?
Yes, sir. So our website is wicomicofair.com. Our Facebook page and our Instagram are both under Wicomico County Fair. And then as we get closer to showtime, if you want to add us on Snapchat, we've got a Snapchat as well. We'll be pretty active on there once we get geared up and get ready to start prepping. And that's just Wicomico Fair. And of course, any pictures you take or anytime you want to tag yourself in events associated with the fair, just use the hashtag Wicomico Fair. Last year we did a photo contest, and this year we'll have some other interactive social media contests going on.
Very cool. Chairman of the Wicomico County Fair, Zach Evans, you're always welcome on Chamber Chat.
I appreciate it. It's great to be here with you, Tony.
All right. We'd like to give you now another opportunity to take a look at the upcoming events with the Salisbury Area Chamber of Commerce. Welcome back to Chamber Chat right here on PAC 14. And joining us now is Morgan Colson, Director of Marketing, Media, and Public Relations with the Chamber of Commerce.
Good morning.
Good morning. I think congratulations first on the new gig.
Thank you.
But then welcome to Chamber Chat.
Thanks.
Well, just like all of your recent predecessors at the Chamber of Commerce, you need to know that this is not an interview. This is 100% an interrogation.
Okay.
Because here on the shore, with me being to come here, everybody wants to know where I'm from, where I went to school, who's your mama, who'd you marry, blah, 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 blah. So that's what you get.
Okay.
So let's begin with just, talk about you a little bit.
I was born and raised in Salisbury, so I'm not a come here.
Okay.
I was born at PRMC. I've lived here my whole life.
There you
I
go.
went away very briefly to McDaniel for college. Wasn't crazy about it. Came back a semester later and went to SU. Graduated with a photography degree. I minored in biology, Spanish, and creative writing.
Wow.
And then ended up sort of just floating around doing different things for a while. I've been a freelance photographer since I was in high school. So I'm doing actually that right now on top of doing chamber stuff, and I write for Metropolitan Magazine.
Wow, so and with a couple of the studies that you said you went to school for, you actually came out of school and actually are working in a field related to at least some of those.
Yes.
So how often does that happen nowadays? That's pretty good.
Not very much. And
Yeah.
I mean, there definitely was a lot of part-time jobbing. It's not something you can do full-time unless you can afford to open your own studio or
Sure.
work directly
Yeah.
for a magazine, and usually that doesn't happen. So.
Well, with a position like you have, certainly with the Chamber of Commerce and in a town or city like Salisbury, community involvement is a must. And if you don't like it, you're not going to like the position. You obviously are well suited for it, but give us an idea of some of the things that you've been involved with organizations or in the community in the past.
I actually ran the Berlin Chamber of Commerce for about a year and a half, so I was completely ingrained in the Worcester County. All of their nonprofits, lots of stuff with
Okay.
Diakonia. We did, chambers of commerce are in the business of profiting the, other profitable things. So I did a lot of work with a lot of different organizations up there, absolutely communicating with, the local government, and I hope to do that here as well.
Very good. So hobbies, what do you like to do?
Swimming, photography, art, traveling. Let's see. Food. I love food. Absolutely.
I'm a foodie.
I can't.
I like it.
I will eat anything and everything as long as it's, good reviews.
That's
So,
right.
Yep.
So the animals, pets.
I had 2 cats growing up, and a Great Dane, and a Golden Retriever, and a parakeet, and a hamster. I currently have none of those
Oh,
things.
wow, okay.
Yeah. So I'd like to have a cat eventually again. I think they're.
We'll have a kitten at home that was just brought to my house that I would give to you.
Oh wow.
But everyone else in my house would not probably appreciate that.
Yeah,
So,
probably not nice.
No. So, in working at the Chamber of Commerce, you've got experience in working with the Berlin Chamber of Commerce. What appealed to you the most about this position, and what do you think that you're going to be able, that you're bringing to the position that's going to help take the chamber to new heights?
I think that being from here and growing up here and watching the evolution of downtown Salisbury and Salisbury as a whole, it's really important to me that we grow and change, and culturally I think we have so much to offer, and I really want to be a part of promoting that, and local businesses have so much to do with the growth of our town, and economic development is completely linked to our ability to do cool things like festival events. You know, revitalizing downtown is a huge part of that, and I want to be part of all of that, and you know, that's my job, promoting everything.
Well, you touched on it a little bit, promoting local businesses, but how do you see PR and marketing tying into local commerce? I mean, and that'll tie directly into how you support your members.
Right. Unfortunately, a lot of times people assume that small business can't be promoted well, and that's exactly my job, is to make sure that they're promoted well. A lot of times small business doesn't know how marketing works or social media or the internet, and it's my job to take over that responsibility for them and to just make sure that they get networked out beyond their local area.
All right, so now granted you've already got the position, so this is not a trick question, but in your own words, why do you think the Chamber of Commerce is important to the local community?
I think that it presents a unique opportunity for the businesses of Salisbury to join together and create something better for the area.
So far, you've been on the job a couple of months now. I won't ask the proverbial, what do you like least? Because that would be a gotcha question. What do you like best so far about working with the Chamber of Commerce?
Oh, we get off on noon on Fridays, but no, everybody I work with probably is the best part about it. Everybody is extraordinarily kind, so welcoming. They help me jump in feet first, so that's been the best part so
I would
far.
have to give 2 thumbs up on that, because with the transitions that have been happening here in the last 6 months or so, with all the change, to see how healthy the chamber has remained throughout that transition, and then for you to plug in and that healthy atmosphere continue to grow and foster. I mean, it speaks to the quality and caliber of people we're bringing in. So kudos to you and the rest of the staff. All right, parting words. What would you like to? So this is your pitch to all your members on how you can support and help not only them but promote the Chamber of Commerce.
I would encourage everybody to send me everything and anything that has to do with marketing, PR, any events that they have, anything that they're looking to get out that their members might not know, the rest of the chamber. That's my job, to make sure that they get what they should out of their membership as far as marketing goes. So anything that they need from me, please email me. My email is mcolson, COULSON, @salisburyarea.com. That's my job, and I'll make sure you get out to everybody.
Morgan, I'm sure you'll be back on Chamber Chat soon, but it was great having you for this inaugural visit.
It was wonderful to speak with you.
All right. And we'd like to thank you for joining us on this edition of Chamber Chat. And as always, if you missed a part of this show or you'd like to view previous editions, we'd encourage you to visit our PAC 14 website and utilize the on-demand function, or visit the Chamber's website. That's all the time we have for this edition of Chamber Chat. My name's Tony Nichols, your host, encouraging you to make a difference.